got a connector here, right there, and it's USB-C. This is a newer version. Um, and that there is a connector. Oh boy, this is not good here. I don't know if I got too much light on it. All right. That connector there, you put to your 5 1/4 drive or any other drive. And through your PC, you can copy files, do anything else. But Grease Weasel has a downloadable file that's got a whole bunch of commands for checking the spindle speed, for checking track zero, and a whole bunch of other ones that I've never really, I played a little bit with, but they use this on for repairing drives. It's from Dirt Hub, but you can order this straight from Grease Weasel themselves.
I think the guy that you need to talk to, do you get on the Discord server?
No, I haven't been on it.
Okay, well, I would suggest getting on there and looking for, asking for David Ladd. He's all things Grease Weasel.
All right.
So I don't have one, but I know that he does. And when I was at the show earlier this year, I gave him a whole bunch of discs, and he spent one of the afternoons imaging them. So, I mean, I know it works. I just don't know much about it.
No. Have you guys ever played with the STC and your floppy drive controller?
Not together.
Whoa, let me show you what I got here. Oh boy.
Okay.
So I've got the let me see, the STC in one and my floppy drive controller in in 4, and it is the it's kind of hard doing one in. It's the super controller that works with the yeah, that works with the 3 and the 2, but perfect for the 3. So you put the 2 together, and when you bring up your SDC, it's a bunch of commands on it. Oh, come on. It's a bunch of commands on it that will, like, I think it's shift F. It pops out of the Grease Weasel, out of the SDC, said, which drive would you like to format? Put your flop in, formats the drive. Don't even have to do anything else. If you want to copy a drive, I can't remember what the exact letter is, but you go and you hit let's say shift W, and it'll take the drive from you got in your floppy and put it onto the SDC. And if you want to go the other way around, you can take it from your SDC and put it onto your floppy drive.
There you go.
I found that out the other day.
When would you? I mean, not that I'm sure there isn't a use case for this, but do you have a lot of need to put stuff back on a real floppy disk?
I grew up on this, like a lot of you guys did, and
okay.
It's just that there was some I'd like to have, you know what I mean, and I like to work with it on floppy,
right?
But I really don't need it. But it's just that being a tech, I want to get all this stuff all working together.
Got it. Okay. Well, cool. But no, I don't. I normally, I use my SDC, but I don't, because the drives are so bulky, and I'm usually pushing a bunch of machines around on the desk. I just use the SDC by itself.
That's a nice piece of equipment, but I found that the other day, and it just, I'll be darned.
Cool. Well, hey.
That was going the long route.
That's right. Well, it's a scenic view.
I'm from St. Thomas, Ontario. Just thought I'd let you guys know.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, we got Greg and Chris and Brian and John Mark. Is it Michael or Mike?
Mike, whatever. Mike's fine.
Okay. And then somebody on phone.
I think that's David Davison.
Okay, I figured it was, but I wasn't going to call him out. Okay,
I
cool.
think we've met quorum.
Yes, we have, and it's 7. Is it 7:30? It must be close enough. I went ahead and started streaming. So, Michael, you're at the beginning of the stream, so you're internet famous now. And and Michael, another Michael is on there. So I got 2 Michaels, maybe more. So we'll go ahead and start the meeting. I don't know that I have a lot going on, mainly just some announcements. And if Brian Weasler gets on, we can do a secretary's report. I've got a quick treasurer's report. I am essentially on voice tonight. So, there you are, Brian. Good. Well, I guess, Brian, since you're here, I'll have you do secretary's report for, let's see, not last month, but the month before, right?
Yep, for June. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see here, where to go. Let's see here. Okay, share. Okay, that should be coming through for us.
Okay.
So this is the secretary's report for the minutes from June 12th. We started the meeting at 7:30. We had Jim, John Mark, Rich, David Davidson, Chris Hawks, Greg, Bruce G, Richard Lorbieski, and myself on for this meeting. I gave the minutes report for April, and Greg moved to approve it. Rich seconded it. All in favor. And did we have any? I'm going to mess it up here. Opposed? We had none that opposed it. So
Unanimous.
unanimous. There we go. Very good. And then Jim gave us we moved on to the treasury report, and Jim gave us a review of the current numbers post Cocoa Fest. We had some discussion about some of those numbers. And I think Jim said there were still some things that we were trying to finalize, something with some tables. We also had a discussion about paying with checks over electronic payments. And then let's see here, we kind of brainstormed a little bit about some different options with that, and we just kind of decided we would need to table that and have maybe a separate meeting to discuss that topic, probably maybe as we get closer to Cocoa Fest. Old business, we had no old business at that time. So then we moved on to new business, and we didn't have any new business either. So it was again a short meeting, and Jim put together a motion to close the meeting, and Greg seconded it, and nobody opposed. And then we wrapped up at 8:45. I think most of our meeting was the discussion around the checks and electronic payments and the pros and the cons around that. So, any questions about that? Any corrections?
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, from me.
Okay, well, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Gores.
Who's the second? Was that Brian?
Brian.
Gores.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Well, I am on voice right now, but I will give you the current balance. Somebody may have to help me with a calculator though, because it doesn't give me a roll up. It just tells me what's in checking and savings. And so, but I will show you in just a second, or I will tell you in just a second here. As expected, we haven't had very many expenses since Cocoa Fest. Let me get pictures here. Hold on here a second. Let's see. Okay, so currently in our checking account, there's a little under $13,000, $12,963.23, and our checking account has $247.16. So the only real expense we have is on July 18th. Grant Leedy put a deposit down for our Cocoa Fest venue for 2026, which will be the Wheaton Carol Stream Holiday Inn. So that was $1,000. And then we have interest credit, pretty good interest credit every month, $33.80 to 88 cents every month in interest credit. And we have $15.68 for our website hosting. So we're banking about $30 or about $15, sorry, about $18 a month with the interest credit covering the hosting. And like I said, the only real expense we've had over the last couple months is the trying to think what's the name, the reservation or the earnest money for the hotel for 26. And if somebody has, I don't want to get the dates wrong, so if somebody has my Facebook post or whatever, it's got the actual dates. I believe it's April 24th and 25th. Am I right on that, John Mark or Brian?
Looking.
Okay.
And let's see here. We got April 24th, which is the Friday, and then the 25th, and then the 26th would be Sunday.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Well, there you go.
Is it a Saturday and a Sunday?
Well,
no, it's
Friday, all day Friday, and then Saturday, and then Sunday is still kind of the official close and cleanup.
For VCFMW?
No. This is for our show.
Oh, we're doing 3 days?
No.
Oh.
This year we did Friday and Saturday, and then we packed up and left on Sunday. Sunday wasn't a show day for us this year.
Oh.
And we're doing the same thing next year.
Okay.
No, VCF Midwest is coming up here. What is it? The 13th and 14th of September, 2025. So, I didn't really give a report, so I don't know that. I'll try and get a report next month when I'm back in at the computer. So, is there any questions folks have about the treasurers, about what we have in the accounts currently?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm satisfied.
Good deal. So I don't think Grant is on, but the main thing I wanted to point out was the Cocoa Fest dates have been locked in. I'm going to get with him this month and see when we're going to get, the tables will probably open up in January, but I'm going to see if we can get the hotel block opened up maybe a little sooner, because I've already had people asking when the block's going to open so they can make reservations for next spring. So excited about our 2026 show.
Yes.
And then the other thing, there's a couple other, well, we'll go into new businesses. I don't know that there's any other committee reports except for Cocoa Fest. And like I said, Grant's not here. So and we didn't have any old business from last time. Do we have anything outstanding, Brian, from last time through the secretary's report for last meeting?
No,
Okay.
no, we didn't have any old or new business. So
okay.
kind of that quiet summertime.
Good. We did not have a meeting in July because we did not have a quorum. Is that correct, John Mark?
Correct.
Okay. So June was our last meeting. So anyway, I've got a couple items. The one is Mark Oberholzer announced on Facebook that we're going to do Tandy Retro Show again in the first part of 2026. I don't know whether we're going to schedule. I think we're going to schedule at the end of January, so we need to farm that up. But I guess reach out to I guess yourself and others. If folks have got something that's not going to quite get ready for showing before the fall show schedule is over, but they'd like to show it off before Cocoa Fest, Tandy Retro Show would be an option. And as always, that's going to be a virtual thing. So any questions or whatnot about Tandy Retro Show? Okay. The other thing I had to mention, again, this could be, I know I jinx it by saying this could be a short meeting, but it could. The other thing is September is typically the month that we do nominations for officers. So if you are interested in an office, or you know somebody who you might think would be interested in office, obviously happy to entertain someone for a treasury position because we don't have a treasurer right now. But those nominations will be at our September meeting. Okay. And give me a second here. Okay. Brian, can you, or John Mark, can one of you do me a favor and bring up our Cocoa Fest webpage and share it? I did want to bring up one item because I did have a piece of news that people should find very interesting.
Do you have that handy, John Mark?
I can do it.
Okay.
I'm right here.
So the one that is part one, if you could share the screen and bring up the posting about the Multi-Sensory Sound Lab, part one.
Is it down here, right here? Click on
Yes,
that.
it is right there. Yep, that's it.
And
yep.
And there's a website to go with it.
Yeah, don't go to that yet. I'll talk about it and then folks can go to their web page. They can go to their own browser and click on this and show. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop for about 3 minutes. So I guess everybody can just kind of talk about me because I'm gonna drop away from coverage for about maybe 2 minutes or so, and then I'll be back. Why don't you go ahead? I guess John Mark, why don't you just show folks what's on that posting, and if folks want to bring it up on their webpage, they can, or bring it up on their own browser, they can to follow along.
Okay. Yeah, I went to the main page, which is, and from the main page, there's this article, the multi-sensory sound. Here's the main page. And from the main page, there's this article, part one. And so I clicked on that, and that takes me, it hasn't gone yet. Maybe I need to click it again. Anyway, it was designed for people who were like deaf. They couldn't hear the sounds. And so they created this like wall of color that would change with sound. And they used Steve Bjork's here now I'm on, now it went to the page. It used Steve Bjork's spectrum analyzer to allow them to see the different frequencies. And that was kind of where he started, I think. And then he gradually added more and more stuff. I think mats in the floor that vibrate to the sounds and things like that, and got children who couldn't hear to be able to experience music in other ways. And,
indeed.
And it's quite a write-up here. And this is just part one.
Yes, that's correct.
And there's a website you can go to. Probably this link here, or one of these links down here, to find out even more.
That's right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I had a part where I was going to drop out, but yes, you're exactly right. And I want to give you a little bit of additional background on this. So So this actually came in through a email. We do from time to time get emails from folks to the club, and they were interested to talk to somebody about a potential donation. And so I did talk to this individual. His name is Norman, and I'm on my way back to my main PC, and so I can get you his last name. But anyway, Norman and I had an opportunity to chat, and just want to make sure that everybody can still hear me. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sorry. So I'm making sure that I don't drop out. Anyway, so Norman and I chatted about, I asked to
I lost you.
a brochure.
Oh, there you are.
Kind of breaking up a little bit, Jim.
I got to get set back on. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yep, nice and
Yep,
clear.
I
Oh.
can.
Okay. Anyway, so Norman talked a little bit. Well, he sent an email initially, but he said that, as the article notes, he started tinkering with this in the early 80s with a Coco One, and then got a grant from the Department of Education to continue forward and build this into an actual product, which his company, Oval Window Audio. Did I get that right, John Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Oval Window Audio, who normally sells these things called induction loop microphones or induction loop receivers, which was an interesting thing. I'd never heard about induction loop, but just as a little bit of background, an induction loop is where they put a thin wire around the periphery of a room, and then they transmit the audio through that wire, and then you have a receiver, or most newer hearing aids are set up to have a little coil that will pick up that electromagnetism that coming through that big, basically coil of wire around the room, and then that's the actual audio. So instead of trying to amplify the audio coming out of the speakers in the room, you can get pristine audio directly from the speaker, from the presenter or whatnot, or whatever's being, shown on the screen or whatever. You can get it through this induction mechanism. And so it's a really cool deal. So this multisensory sound lab complemented the this induction loop functionality, and as John Mark noted, one of the pieces of this puzzle was C. Bjork's Spectrum Analyzer cartridge and a Coco. I think in the pictures it shows a Coco 3, and he said, that they sold these for a number of years, and so they progressed from the Coco 1 to the Coco 2, and then ultimately to the Coco 3. So anyway, we were talking, and the reason he called, or the reason he contacted us, is because he still had some stock of Coco equipment for this, and he's decided to no longer offer this product through Oval Window Audio. So if you do go to their website, it still shows a page for the product, but he did want people to know that they've decided to not sell this solution anymore. And so anyway, he had some parts essentially from installations that, from stock that they had not sold. And so he offered it to the Glenside Club to see if we could get it into the hands of some worthy individuals. So here's the cool part, and I'm going to put a part 2. So John Mark just noted that there's a part 1 there. I'm going to put a part 2 up. Hopefully I'll get it written up tonight and put pictures in there. But I paid some shipping, and so I haven't asked the club to reimburse that yet, but I paid about $200 for shipping. And what came in the mail was 11 brand new, never used color computer 3s. And on nine Spectrum Analyzer cartridges. And the Spectrum Analyzer cartridges, some of them are the regular cartridge, and some of them I need to dump the cartridge because it has a special gray sticker that's just text. There's no graphics or anything. Looks like it was written on a typewriter. I don't know if it's just the same code and it's just kind of a simpler sticker on the cartridge or not, but 9 of those. And then I think there was 6 or 7 the Ramsey color, they're called color organ multi-light thing that in the picture. John Mark, why don't you go down to the picture of the whole system in use? Next, okay, yeah, there, right there. So whoa, right there. So if you see on the left-hand side, there's this little that looks like a tower of what kind of looks like yellow. That's a color organ, and for that they use three sets of Christmas lights, I believe, different colors. And then they use this thing from Ramsey Electronics called a Magic Lights color organ, I think is what it was called. And so he donated, to the club. I believe it's 6 or 7 of those, and then a bunch of Spectrum Analyzer cartridges, some of which are not that don't have the graphics sticker like you normally see on the retail version. And then I believe it was 11. I think I calculated 11 brand new color computer 3s. Mm-hmm. And so that's, I know Brian, you'd made a push for donations for the club, and so here's one of the first.
Oh, I have to tell you, as a collector, my hands are actually sweating right now listening to you talk about this thing, because that's one of the things that I seek out. I got 5 different machines in my collection that were Cocos that were used by other companies as their base system. And it's always cool to see what companies back in the day were using, taking a Coco, which was basically just a platform to build off of, right? And either they changed the ROMs or they built an interface cartridge for it. I mean, yeah, this is so cool. Yeah, I'm actually just kind of shaking a little bit because this is what gets me going. This is my passion. So if I'm giggling, it's because this is so cool.
Yeah. I was very, I was very impressed. Dang it, I'm trying to see what his last name is, because I hate to just keep calling him Norman, but he always signed his emails Norman and he didn't put his last name on. So I've got it. Oh, Lederman. There it is. Lederman. Norman Lederman. So anyway, and I got some pictures that I'll put on the website here later tonight showing all the items. But as you can expect, the Coco 3s are pristine in the box, still in the plastic with all the books and the styrofoam and all the packing and everything. Never been used, and 8 of them look like they're in original boxes, like they just fit in these cardboard boxes. So it looks like they were shipped directly from either National Parts or somewhere in these boxes. Like four Coco 3s to a box. So
interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, those cartridges, every once in a while you see on eBay, there are some that pop up that looks like the label was typed like onto a mailing label.
Okay. Then that may be what these are.
Yeah, and we've kind of speculated, what was that for? Was this just like some surplus stock? Was it some pre-production stuff? Yeah, we've speculated as to what the origin of those were, or where they came from. But yeah, because there's a number of them that are out there. So do you think there's enough parts in this thing that we could actually get a working system to demo or display at the fest or something?
Well, there's definitely, you can make some significant inroads. So I did talk to Norman, and I said, hey, what was entailed in putting this together. A lot of it is stuff that actually shows up at the fest anyway. So there was an amplifier. I think they had a microphone, and I think I saw in one of the pictures where he mentioned a guitar and a keyboard, which typically somebody brings a keyboard or guitar or both. There's a microphone I know that's there. Amplifier should be easy to source. The Ramsey kits are, I have one. I'd have to put it together, but I have them. So they put together, obviously, Coco 3 and the Spectrum Analyzer there. He gave me the actual cord he used to jack the output into the Coco. So it's got the DIN connector on one side and the 1/4-inch plug on the other. And the induction loop units, I see them on eBay, and so I was kind of putting a feeler out to see if I could find a couple of them that weren't that expensive. with a transmitter, so it come up with a whole unit. The parts that I think are, and I have a laser actually, so that's not a big problem. The part that is that I know the least about is the floor mats that vibrate. So if you see in the pictures there, the floor mats are very thin, and so I'm not exactly sure how they vibrate. And so I was gonna talk to him again. I tried to get him to do an interview, like a phone interview, because I thought it'd be kind of cool for all of us to talk to him or whatnot. But it's a little hard for him. It's a little hard to understand when he's talking, so I can see that being a little bit of a challenge. The other one is he wasn't super wild about doing that, but he said he'd be happy to answer any questions that people sent via email. So I think I put at the end of this posting, but just in general, if anybody on our in our membership, anybody on the call tonight, if you have questions about this, anything, if you fund them to me, he said he'd be happy to answer any and all questions we have about the unit. One of the questions I was going to ask him is, can I get a model number or something for those mats? Because I don't mind buying a couple of them to put, like, because you have the idea that I have, Brian, which is to try to put some facsimile of this together and have it as a demo next spring at the show. Be kind of neat to see, how it works or whatnot. So I think most of it is pretty easy to come by, except for and I think I could approximate the tower. He gave me the name of the company that made the tower, but he said he didn't have any more of them. And so I think I might be able to source at least one of those. But the mats, I'm drawing a blank on the mats so far.
Yeah,
Not that they don't exist, but
yeah, they're awfully thin. I wonder if it's some sort of like a piezoelectric pad or something like that. That would be, something that would be that thin that would vibrate or something like that. That's, huh. Because yeah, you can see them just kind of laying those pads out there. They're not much to them. Huh. Well, maybe they look like they're about a half an inch thick, but obviously it has to be sturdy enough to walk on them.
Go back one page, please. I thought I seen a number on the page prior. Go up the visual, hold it back up, stop right there.
There's a G.
Oh no, I was wrong. I just seen the visualizer. It's a spectrum analyzer display. I thought there was another. No, I'm missing it. Thought I was missing it. I thought there was a number in there or a name of it.
There's C right there.
Yeah.
Well, with those are, if you notice, there's letters throughout the whole thing. He's in the upper right there corner right there. You can see, yeah, there's a little ledger right there that he's talking about the different pieces right there. Yep. So yeah, the G would be for vibrating mat, F is for loudspeaker, and so on. Yeah, that's the what is it, Luma? Can you zoom in on that again there real quick there, John? There was Luma sound light. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, but I think that's their name for it.
Right.
I mean, so.
Yeah, this is really cool.
That is so unique.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, there's a laser. It says B is laser, and right up here is the laser.
Yep.
Yeah, if you see there in the cabinet there, John Mark, next to the TV set, there's a laser with a hole on the side of it. There's probably a mirror, and so that laser is probably being reflected through the hole up onto the ceiling or wall, wherever that is. Would be my guess.
Yep. So anyway, if you got any questions about it, I'd love to. I was planning on talking to Norman either late this week or early next week and getting some information on those, pads, those mats or whatnot. So if anybody else has got anything they're wanting to understand, then I will. I'll pass on the questions. So
yeah, it's just things like this. It just blows me away sometimes. Here it is. Here's these Coco 3s. This stock of stuff has just been sitting there for all these years, and and you wonder how much of that stuff like that is just sitting there collecting dust somewhere in the back of a warehouse that someone forgot about. And it's just it's cool when things like this float to the surface.
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
I'm obviously, I think one of the reasons why he sought us out is, I mean, we're a 501c3, so we were able to give him an invoice for fair market value of the items, which they still have a considerable amount of value. So I think that's pretty cool. It gives them an incentive to, not just throw it in the landfill, but move it on to the club, and hopefully we'll get it in the hands of people who are excited about it. I know the Cocoa threes and whatnot will be a no brainer, but the Ramsey kits I think are interesting too. So we have those.
Did he give you any idea what the cost if he sold one of these things in the day, what it was worth?
No, but that is an excellent question. If you could, because I'll forget if you don't email me, but could you email me that question? Because that's a great question. I forgot to ask him that question.
I don't know. I'll look you up.
Okay. It's president@glensidecc.com.
All right.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much it was. I will say that I did ask him, like, okay, so why are you, why have you decided to stop selling them right now? And he said that with budget cuts and kind of the current situation and whatnot, there's not a lot of extra funds for educational facilities to invest in this. So it must not be just trivial. And so he said it's the sales are just not there anymore. And so it makes sense to go ahead and kind of finish up this product and not, not offer it for sale anymore. But I didn't ask how much it was. So that's a cool question to ask.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you a question too. I'm gonna ask him, have you ask him if he knows about how many of these units did he sell? I mean, is there, 12 of these things out there, or is there literally hundreds of these, systems to package?
Yeah, I got the impression that there's more than 10, but I don't think it was 100. So, but I think I asked, I don't think I asked, but I think he offered as part of another question. And that's kind of the reason why I wanted to, when I was talking to him, I was kind of hoping that we could record it because I knew I'd forget some of the details, but I'll ask him again specifically how many of them are out there.
I did have a piece of additional new business I wanted to um, throw out there. If you're done there, Jim.
Anybody have any other questions about this?
You going to sell those cocos on their own?
Hold on here. For some reason, my audio dropped out. So let me, what'd you say?
I was asking if you're going to sell those cocos on their own.
No, we're
going to the auction.
Yeah, we'll probably put them in the auction next spring. Yep. So,
I was gonna say, I'd buy one.
huh?
I said I'd buy one.
Yeah, I understand. No, I think it's best to wait until spring and have them be a cornerstone of our show.
Well, that's a good thing. I probably let my common sense take charge again.
That's fair. Well, anyway, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you were done with this here, I had something I wanted to add to the new business, a thought that I had for the auction next year.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
So yeah, as Jim said, I've been doing a little bit of posting on Facebook into the mailing list, and I think I'm probably going to continue, if that's okay, to periodically just throw reminders out there to people, about making donations. One of the thoughts that I had, and maybe we've done this in the past, but I came up with the idea of Cocoa Cash. And what I mean by that is if people bring donations, for the auction, like let's say someone brings a Cocoa 3 or a Cocoa 1 or whatever the items are, the idea is that in exchange for bringing this, and this is an idea of an incentive to get more people to bring things for the auction rather than just relying on people just to give them to us. Maybe we can kind of incentivize people. So
Okay.
kind of the idea I had was cocoa cash, and in exchange for donating items, we would give them some of this cocoa cash, and this cocoa cash would be in the form of like a voucher. The
Mhm.
idea that I had was like maybe Ron Delvaux could come up with some like dollar bills that we could make in different denominations.
Mhm.
Like maybe a 5 or a 10, and instead of a president's head, maybe it would have a cocoa 1 or a cocoa 2 on it. And
Mhm.
depending on what they give us, if it's more in value, we can give them we're not going to give them the equivalent of the value of that in cash, but maybe like a cocoa 3, we give them $15 or $20 in cocoa cash. And that cocoa cash could then be redeemed with vendors at the Cocoa Fest, or they could use that cocoa cash to pay for something in the auction. They can use
Okay.
that, and we would have to come out with some way of like reimbursing the vendor if someone uses it. But then the voucher would only be valid during that year's Cocoa Fest, so people wouldn't like save it for next year, for example, because we want to be able
Right.
to track all these. And
Mhm.
obviously, if somebody doesn't use it, it doesn't get used. But um, I was kind of thinking about that and just kind of rolling it around in my head. I just wanted to kind of maybe present it to the group to see if that might be something that might be kind of fun to do. We can come up with this Cocoa Cash, Ron Delvaux again. Like I said, he could maybe come up with a design of like maybe a 5 or a 10 or 20. I guess well, we could decide how much money we actually want to give people for it. And obviously, if someone uses one of those, the club is going to have to reimburse that vendor for, let's say, that $5 or $10. So yeah, we're handing money out, but I'm hoping that maybe we get more donations in to kind of maybe help offset that a little bit. So I don't know if
Okay.
anybody liked that idea.
Thoughts?
If if we give somebody a tax write-off for a donation they make, they're not allowed to receive anything in exchange.
Mm. Well, or you have to discount the amount you give them back of the
Maybe.
of the donation, right? If you make a $30 donation and you give them $10, then you can only claim $20 of donation on the receipt. But you're right that there is a challenge there.
Just
So
make it or each. In other words, they either get the cash or they get the tax write-off, one or the other.
it's a good point. It's a good point. Okay.
Yeah, and the idea is we're not actually, we're not giving them real money. This is just like a voucher that they can use, that they can redeem within Cocoa Fest, and it might give them money to, and maybe also then the vendors would also maybe benefit a little bit by this as well, and um, but I don't know, it was just an idea. I just thought maybe I'd present it and we can roll it around as we go forward, and I can certainly run with the if we like the idea, I can certainly run with it, and maybe I can reach out to Ron Delvaux and maybe he can come up with some ideas of of our dollar bills, our denominations. So
I
and go ahead.
I would say a couple things. I mean, I don't know that I have, since you just mentioned it, I don't know that I
Hmm.
have much of an opinion on it just yet, but
Right. Hmm.
I'm thinking, maybe posting it on our Facebook group and the mailing list to see if there's other folks that have opinions one way or the other.
Hmm.
And then maybe fleshing it out a little bit about exactly what it would be like, for every, because the thing I'm thinking is that if somebody brings an item, just logistically, right? If somebody
Hmm.
brings an item and they say, "Oh, here's a Birkenberg controller," right? Well, how many dollars do you give them for a Birkenberg controller, right? I
Right.
mean,
Yep.
how do
Hmm.
you determine what kind of, or alternatively, is there a way of doing this? Like you give a set amount of money, right? You give
Hmm.
$10 of Cocoa Cash or something,
Yep.
um, for a donation or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of
Hmm.
I don't not sure those are great ideas. I'm just spitballing. I'm just wondering. The show gets a little hectic. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
obviously everybody knows that, and so people coming by and saying, "Hey, I want to make a donation," like Mark Bosley probably will be at the donation space. I want to make a donation. I want to be careful that we don't put Mark Bosley in a position, or whoever's in the donation room, of trying to basically appraise an item so that they can determine how much cash to give out, um, in case they get it wrong. Or I think people might have concerns around that. Like, what if somebody overestimates the value of something? Like they think that book is worth $20, but it ends up going for $1.50, and we gave $5 of cash out for it. So then we're kind of in the red on that. So
Mhm.
I think fleshing those out a little bit to understand like how we would make sure this is implementable and whatnot would
Mhm.
be great. And we could bring it up in the next, we could put it as new business in next month and you know, if you have a proposal and then we could stew about it. I mean,
Okay.
I think having a little bit more detail would be helpful because I just have a whole bunch of questions about how, I mean, it sounds cool, but how do you implement it and how do
Right.
you make sure that volunteers don't get painted into a corner? Like what I'm thinking about, worst case scenario, somebody comes in with a Coco 3, it's all dirty and it's got holes in it. And I'm mentioning it because somehow I acquired such a Coco 3. It's got somebody put some sort of big, huge fan on the top of it, drilled a bunch of holes in the case or whatnot. But it's functional, you know. I mean,
Yep.
It's a good unit.
Yep.
So I walk in there and Mark's like, "Oh, you got a donation?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want some Coco Cash for it." And they're like, "Well, it's kind of a beat up Coco 3. I bet it'll go for maybe, you know, $60." And I'm like, "No, I won't. It'll go for 150 easy because it's a Coco
Yep.
3." And
Yep.
then we're there arguing, and then I'm mad, and I don't want to really do that. So how do we guard against stuff like that happening?
Yep. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, it was just an idea that popped in my head, and I just had some bullet points I typed up real quick, and I was just kind of rolling off the idea to see what we thought. But yeah, these are all good things that we're mentioning here. So
Yep.
thank you.
Does Brooke create a
I do
blue
want to
book?
thank you for putting the postings out about encouraging donations. So thank you for that at least. Sorry, who's asking a question?
I was saying, trying to make a blue book.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I want to I don't want to we want to steer way clear of that 'cause
Yeah,
the only thing that we know about blue books is every time you have one of those for collectibles, it's just it's like that's like it's a home forum of people arguing over it, you know? That's it's worth 30
Well, I
bucks if
mean,
it's mint.
trust me. I
that's
mean, I see this all the time, obviously with the collecting that I do, and the value of something is totally dependent on what somebody's willing to pay for it. I mean, look at Coco 3s. I
Hmm.
mean, 6 years ago, you could buy a Coco 3 every day of the week almost for 125 bucks.
Right.
Now you see that same Coco 3, pegging $300, and so
Hmm.
whatever somebody's willing to pay for it is what the value is worth. So
Correct.
it's a moving target all the time.
Hmm.
Suggestion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't we just have some badges made up? I mean, it as a uh, auction donor with Coco Fest logo and stuff on it.
Okay.
And while it's not monetarily, it is at least a formal recognition of people's donations.
Right. I mean, I like that idea too. It's pretty easy for me to make another badge. So that's a no-brainer. Brian, there's put that in there, put that in the hopper too.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't have any more business or things to share. Anybody else have anything?
Well, after the meeting's over, can I show what we did during the demo time?
You can. You absolutely can, but we got to get there first.
Mere technicalities.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
We never had a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Oh, I didn't actually present a report, so I was
Oh,
going to
okay.
present a more, I just gave the balance and the thing because I was not at the computer when I did that, so I couldn't present the
Gotcha.
report.
Okay,
So I'll do it.
motion to
I'll do
close
it
the
next
meeting.
month. Okay.
Motion to
second?
adjourn.
Okay, well, I got a motion and I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nope.
Okay.
Can I ask who I was making a note there real quick?
Greg